Hey everyone, what's up? Today I'm going to be taking you through the 5 steps to quitting your 9-to-5 service job and starting your own business to support a career in the arts. Now, disclaimer, this video is made specifically for people who are looking to create a lifestyle for themselves that supports a career in the arts, people who are not quite at the point where they're making a living off their art yet, but really need the space to pursue that art and get to that place. But there's still helpful tips for people out there who are just looking to start their own business and aren't necessarily artists and just want to pursue a life as an entrepreneur. So for those people, I think that you'll still find some value in this video. I have enough money to support myself in New York City in 2022 without a 9-to-5 job, without a service job, and without generational wealth. I don't have a daily commute. I don't have to clock on and off somewhere. I don't have anybody to really answer to. I don't have to adhere to a rigid schedule. And I always have time to do what I want for myself and to do what I want to do creatively. Honestly, since I started my business, my creative mind has been so much more free. I feel like I had such a huge weight lifted off of me once I quit my 9-to-5 job. It was like Anne Hathaway tossing the phone into the fountain at the end of The Devil Wears Prada. I feel like I'm living life for myself now and not for somebody else. That's really important when you're an artist. My goal with this business is to make enough money to sustain myself and my lifestyle as an artist, is not to get rich quick. So if that's your goal, that's fine. I still think you can take some things from this video, but just kind of keep that in mind as we're going forward here. There are some roadblocks and obstacles. We're made to believe that starting your own business should be hard. We're taught this narrative that actors, especially, service jobs are the norm, that like you're supposed to be a server until you book the job. The thing is, there really is no the job for most people. Most people just stick in it long enough to start making a living off their art. And sometimes that takes, 10 years. And I'm not knocking service jobs. My grandma was a waitress for her entire life and she loved it. In other countries, hospitality is a much more respected career. But I know that, here service jobs can be really hard and a lot of actors really don't actually enjoy service jobs, but they're just taught that that's the only option. And then other actors or artists will just go straight to a 9-to-5 because they want to make money and they want to start to make enough money just for a few years and then they can fund their art career. And that just never happens because you get sucked into the lifestyle and your brain cells die, and we need to create a life where we are active and engaged in our art and that we have the enough energy to engage in our art. So let's talk about for a second the ideal job for an actor or an artist. We want a calm, low stress job. We don't need a job that causes us anxiety or takes any more energy out of us that we don't have to give. We need a job that is extremely flexible. We need a job that doesn't take up a lot of our creative or collaborative energy. The number one energy suck for an artist is working for somebody else and supporting their vision and their ideas that you have no creative stake in. And that's what a lot of 9-to-5 jobs are. Obviously, we need a job that financially supports us and enables us to live in sometimes bigger cities, although it's arguable. I feel like now in 2022 you can be an actor anywhere, but there are advantages to living in cities like LA, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, etc., and it's more expensive to live in those places. So we need a job that can support us, feed us, and make us, comfortable as people too. So I found that the perfect solution for me, at least, that nobody tells you, is to start your own business. You can make your own rules, you make your own schedule, you live life on your own terms, and you have enough time and energy to give to creative projects. So let's get into the key steps to just making that move to start your own business. Throughout this sort of tutorial, if you will, I'm going to be using 2 examples of 2 different types of businesses. One is a creative business and one is a non-creative business. I think that as actors and as artists, there are some people that just don't want to be using any creative energy during their day job or during their support job, and that allows them to save all of their creative energy for their acting or for their art. And then I think there's other types of creative people that just constantly need to be creating, and it kind of like flows into each other, like all of the creative projects kind of flow into each other. So that's why I'm kind of giving 2 examples for kind of the 2 different types of creative people. The non-creative example will be me and actually what I ended up doing for my business. And the creative example I'm basing off of my friend, and now I can see him kind of form his own business, but he hasn't yet. But I'm pushing it on him. So the first step is outlining your skills. Really just taking stock in things that you're good at. Not even necessarily things that you enjoy it, just things that you can do. So for example, I'm very organized, I'm very good on email, I'm good at working on spreadsheets with data, I'm a good writer, I'm good with budgeting, I'm really good at like administrative type work. I'm good at outreach, and I'm good at music. In my other example, my friend, he is very good at taking photos, he's into cooking, he's a music connoisseur. 2 different types of skill sets here. So the second step is to go through the list of things that you could do really well and pick one that really excites you. So at my previous job, I was honestly good at everything I did. I was an executive assistant, I did a lot of administrative work, but the 2 things that I actually only really enjoyed, even though they were like less than 5% of my job, were financial work and press work. I was a press representative for a theater company. I know with my friend, he's really taken to taking photos. It's become his passion. He's super interested in learning more about photography and taking pictures of as many different types of things he can in as many different places as he can, with as many different types of film as he can, with different cameras. Step 3 is finding a hole in the market. Getting specific about your passion and about how it can provide value to people in your community. And your community can be defined as, your physical community, an online community. There's so many different ways you can define community now. Really, the sky is the limit here. Use your imagination, really dig, and don't limit yourself. Because I'm also an independent musical artist, I have a passion for helping other musical artists, like my friends and their friends, just get their stuff out there and get their music heard. And so taking the press side of things that I really enjoyed from my other job, I decided I'm going to start a press business for indie musicians. What's going to make this appealing and valuable to them is that I'm going to provide affordable PR from somebody that they can trust. I think a lot of indie musicians out there get scammed so much. So having somebody that will hop on a Zoom call with them and provide examples of how they struggle as a musical artist, I think it really establishes a nice connection and a nice form of trust that I don't think a lot of PR agencies provide. For my friend, I know that he loves photographing animals and pets. So maybe he can start a business as a pet photographer. Step 4 is to develop some a la carte packages, meaning instead of having an hourly rate, think of how you can package your skills into an item that you can sell. So for example, I have a package where I just write a press release, and that's for $100. So I'll write a press release, I'll compile a kit with like photos and stuff, but I don't distribute it to any outlets or stuff. I just give it back to them. I have another package that's $430 where I write the release and then I distribute it to my people. I have another package where I pitch the song to playlists for $250. And then I have a last package that's $650 that includes everything. I know my packages well enough that when I hop on the phone with the client, I know exactly what would be best for them and how I'm going to pitch my service to them in a way that fits them well. For a pet photography service, you might have packages that involve changing locations. Maybe one package is in the person's house, maybe the other one is on location. Maybe you have a studio already set up in your apartment and that's something you can offer. And then you can also vary packages based off of time, how many retouches you get, how many images you get in the end, if you want to shoot on film, if you want to shoot on digital. There's so many different ways you can construct your packages, and it's so important to know your packages really well and be specific with them so that you can pitch them to clients and make them feel special and make them feel like you have something that's made just for them. After you have your packages, create a website and list all of your packages on them with title, description, and an email address, obviously. And have some friends and fam rates too, especially when you're first starting. Have discounts that you can give. Maybe, I have military discounts, I have friends and family discounts. And then I also recently did limited packages for things. So if people are really, really low on money, I'll offer kind of half the rate for half the work. So you really can get creative about what you're offering, and you can make all of those decisions. Like I say, the sky is the limit. Don't limit yourself. The reason that I think it's important to offer a la carte and not hourly is because the hourly pay then kind of puts you back in that prison of working for someone, whereas a la carte has a very specific beginning and end date so that you can move from project to project and not be too tied down to anything. I personally think that that is very important. So that's why I advise offering a la carte services over hourly for an artistic lifestyle. Step number 5 is developing an SOP, which is an acronym for a standard operating procedure. Now, this is going to be different for every business, obviously, but you should really get clear about the A to Z process of what a campaign looks like. Some procedures that I think every business will have to have is how and when you invoice, any assets that you would need from a client, any information, do they need to fill out a form, what do they need to give you for you to do your job best, when to send them deliverables, do you offer payment plans, when do you pay your taxes, how do you keep track of your money, how do you file receipts, things like that. Obviously, the procedure between a press campaign and a photo shoot is going to be very different, but really figuring out A to Z from the beginning of a campaign to the end of the campaign, what it looks like. Step number 6 is building your portfolio. This is going to be a little challenging when you first start out because if you don't have a portfolio, how are you going to get clients? And if you don't have clients, how are you going to get a portfolio? Well, reach out to friends and family. Give them a highly, highly discounted rate. Even maybe do 1 or 2 campaigns for free. And then you have examples on your website. And then after you do that, have them give you a testimonial so you can add it to your website. Have them review your business on Facebook or on Google. You want to make your site look really appealing and spice it up with portfolio examples and with client testimonials. And what better way to start than in your own community with people that you know and you trust and that trust you. With this kind of business model, you're going to be starting at 0 every month, which is something that still freaks me out, honestly, even 2 years into running my own business and having it be the sole thing that supports me. It's never comfortable. You never have guaranteed income. You have to trust this process and you have to believe in yourself. Especially artists, we are taught we need to get used to rejection. We're gonna get told no a lot. But in this situation, you really have to just believe that there are clients out there that want to pay you for your job and for your work. For example, there are always gonna be indie musicians anywhere in the world that need press and that have money to spend on it. There's over 60,000 songs released on Spotify every day alone. So that's a lot of people to choose from and to find. And so I have to believe that I can find them and I will find them. I go on certain Facebook groups for people in music. I'll use Instagram hashtags and comment on people's posts and DM them. That is a great way to get clients. For my friend who I think would have a great business photographing pets, go to the Upper East Side and just be like, hey, your dog's so cute, let me photograph them. There's tons of rich people with pets on the Upper East Side that are bored and would love to have a photo shoot with their pets. Come on. As long as your service is valuable, there will always be people who will pay for it. You just have to find them. You have to find the right hashtags to look for. You have to find the right Facebook groups, but just believe in yourself and know that you will find them. I read the book Atomic Habits, and he talks about doing 1% every day. And doing 1% every day might feel like not a lot, but in a year, that's 365%. So just really trusting that process of doing the outreach. You might have people that you meet with that say, yeah, I want to do something with you in 6 months. But then if you do that enough for 6 months, then you're going to have people throughout that time that work with you right then and there. It all compounds. And you just have to trust the process and trust that if you're doing enough new client outreach, something will give. Go into this with the knowledge that things are going to be in flux for a while. Things will always be changing. You'll always be learning from your experiences with different clients and changing your SOP, especially when it comes to prices and packaging. That's okay. You can change things literally whenever you want because you're your own boss. And just know that if you go into this and don't expect change, or don't want to change anything, then your business isn't going to grow. So as you have these trial and error experiences, look at it as a positive thing and think, okay, how can I change this and make it better? I honestly think that you should keep things as simple as possible. Acting is already complicated enough. You have enough to do with auditions, or if you're another type of artist, I just think being an artist is complicated enough. And so your support job should not be complicated. Just always ask yourself, how can I simplify this for myself? Constantly be asking yourself that. I would say for a business in this sort of niche world of being an artist, try to avoid startup costs, but know that you will have to spend a little money going into it. For example, my friend who's a photographer, he already has a camera, but he might want to spend some money on lights. Me, I already have a computer, but I might want to spend some money on some press lists that exist. I might want to spend money marketing my business. Be prepared to spend money. Don't try to have a business as an artist that has these like huge startup costs. Like, I don't think that selling items or having a shop is the best idea for an artist. I think offering services is better and more realistic because the less money you have to put into it, the easier it's going to be for you. And I do think that there is something for everybody that they can offer that won't cost a lot of money for them to start up. And if you're following your passion, like my friend with his photography, it would make sense that he wouldn't have to spend a lot of money because he already has the things that he needs to take pictures because it's his passion. So try to keep it as minimal as possible. This is also part of like the simplicity mentality. Try to avoid jobs where you have to work with huge teams and interact with a lot of people at once. Obviously, you're gonna have to interact with people. It's a business. I Zoom clients to let them know about the services that I offer and to try to close them. My friend doing a photography session will have to meet the person whose pet he's photographing. But try to keep these as minimal as possible because I think that people energy should be saved for your creative collaborators. Running my own business has enabled me to do a lot as an artist. First and foremost, I just feel good as a person and as an actor, and these two things are totally connected. If you feel freedom as a person, you're going to feel freedom as an actor. If you feel constricted as a person, you're going to feel constricted as an actor. These two things go hand in hand. I have so much flexibility in my schedule. I can make my schedule. I can leave town basically whenever I want to, whether that's to visit family or to go on vacation or to do an acting job. I basically get to take a hiatus from my business whenever I want and come back and know that I can pick up wherever I left off, especially as an actor or a singer or a performer or somebody that might be traveling for work. That's really important. To be able to just say, okay, I gotta not do this, but know that it'll be there when it comes back. I mean, to just be able to do that as an actor is so important to me and so valuable to me. I can also work from wherever I want. So maybe I'm not necessarily doing a film, but maybe I took a trip with my mom somewhere. If there's a few hours in the morning I need to get some work done, I can wake up early, get the work done, and spend the whole day with my mom. There is flexibility in the day-to-day schedule, and there's flexibility if you want to take a day off in the middle of the week because you need a mental health day. Like, you can plan that. You can basically do whatever you want with your schedule as long as your work gets done. You can start work at 2 p.m. if you want. You can start work at 6 a.m. if you want. Like there's really no limits. This really falls under, again, this no limitation mindset of just doing it however you want and however works best for you. I have time for auditions. I have time to write scripts. I have time to produce short films. I have time to start this YouTube channel. I have time to submit myself for roles. And then I could just stop work whenever I have an acting job. I just have time to do things and to fit things into my schedule when I want to that are important to me. I also have time to eat. I have time to sleep. I have time to cook. I have time to spend with the people I love. I have time to read. A full heart and a healthy body makes for a good artist. And it's also just important for you and for your own mental health and lifestyle. I am the only person I answer to every day, for the most part. So, some closing thoughts. This type of job is a huge transition at first, and I would not recommend just quitting your job and starting from step one after you quit your job. I think you should do a lot of the work first, and this is gonna require like a few months of crunching it and really like grinding. If you commit to doing these 7 steps, you will be able to quit your 9-to-5 or your service job. And it's gonna be hard, but I believe in you. You have to believe in yourself. I woke up and I said, I am doing this and nothing's stopping me. And any obstacles that came up, I immediately thought, how can I turn this into a positive? How can I make this work for me? Because there's no way I'm going back to a 9-to-5 job ever again. Thanks so much for watching. That's it for this video. Stay tuned for more specific videos on more details on all of these 7 steps, and let me know what you think. And if you have any ideas that you want to run by me, you know, feel free to DM me. My Instagram is in my description. And if you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, comment. You know the deal. I hope that this was valuable to you in some way, and I hope that you are off to finding your passion and starting your own business and sticking it to the man. No artist needs to be working a 9-to-5 job, okay? All right, see you guys next time. Bye.